our club, and I said, I'm happy for you and Mackie, but I'm sad for us, and we would certainly miss you, so thank you. And welcome to Michael Parker, where I don't see Michael right now. So, thank you for being here this morning. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes and then show you a quick video and make a quick transition into an introduction. Our business banking is really nothing more than being the circulatory system of a basic economy. We take money from people who want to save it, deposit it, loan it to people who want to start a small business or buy a car or buy a home, whatever it is. And one of the things I think we lack in our economy, broadly speaking, is good financial education and financial literacy and the tools to help people manage their money in a way that allows them to really grasp and embrace the economic dream, the economic promise of the United States. And we have invested for many, many years in financial literacy, but over the last several years, we have built and developed this partnership with Operation Hope. We have on the order of 8 or 9 Operation Hope inside locations today. It's a process that works. In broad terms, when somebody walks into one of our financial centers through that door or any of the doors we have anywhere in our franchise, and we can't meet their financial needs because we can't meet the requirements for extending credit or whatever, we have a difficult time being in a position to solve the problem. Our partners at Operation Hope can do that. They can get tactically involved with the customer's permission and help them work through the challenges that they're facing, and then get them back over to us and allow us to be in a position to make the credit extension, get them in the home, whatever it happens to be. So they've been fantastic partners for us. Everybody in this room doesn't need the counseling or the help, but I promise you, you know 1 or 5 or 10 people who do. And you'd be surprised at the number of people with 2 incomes struggling to make ends meet, or somebody lost a job during the financial crisis and got behind. Credit scores impact us all, and this is a resource that can help. It will help. And so I ask you, make referrals. The most important thing we can get are word-of-mouth referrals. Lakita will be out there working to create traction and momentum, but more than anything, we need you helping us get people into this program. And it is priced right. It's free. Get people in here and make sure they know the resources here, and we will make a difference with this effort. We opened our first Hope Inside location in Memphis in November 2014. Sharita over here opened it for us, and she's now the regional VP. But yeah, you deserve the prize. In those 2 years plus 2 months, we have served over 3,500 people in the Hope Inside locations. And that is just scratching the surface. So please help us get people in and make referrals. If I could, I'm going to show you a quick video, and then I'll make an introduction of John Hope Bryant. Phil?
I spent the last 20 years working for various financial institutions, and I met a lot of people from all walks of life. I found that a lot of people are not aware of their finances. I saw a need where people should be educated about what they're doing and about how it affects them personally.
Operation Hope and First Tennessee have teamed together to have this available free for customers and non-customers. So whenever they're sitting at my desk, I can see the tears in their face when they're happy and excited about the fact that we have a free program.
I think it's worth giving up 3 hours a month or whatever to learn more about your finances. It's very informational. It's information that you probably did not know or learn
if you come, you might encourage someone else in your family or your friendship circle to come.
Working for Operation Hope, I have the ability to talk to people and to teach them from a curriculum I feel is good information that will help other people to be more empowered around their personal financial situation.
We have a great instructor like Sharita, who's patient. She shares her story. So it just makes you feel a little bit more comfortable.
Your credit can kind of say who you are as a person, and you want to make sure that everything is in order with that.
If you go to a class, I just feel like you get some more tidbits, like a few pointers you didn't know.
Your credit is your reputation. And so if you want people to help you become a homeowner or own a car or start a business, I mean, your credit is what they're going to look at. So you want to make sure you're putting your best self out there.
I've seen so many changes with our customers.
Yes, I will recommend this class.
I recommend the class to anybody who can go. It's free.
Hopefully we can empower our community to do better in their finances.
We're excited about our partnership with Operation Hope. Your credit score really is your key into the financial world. And many times it's your key into a job. A lot of employers pull it before they hire somebody. And so this is an important endeavor, and we're excited about that partnership. Whenever I have the opportunity to speak, I'm especially thankful that I'm in front of John Hope Brown. He is a force of nature. John and I have gotten to be very good friends over the last several years. He has created a worldwide organization. He has people on the ground in the United States. He's got commitments today for over 400 Hope Inside locations, 15 with First Tennessee, with a goal of reaching 1,000 to cover the entire United States. John is a best-selling author in economics. We have a copy of his book here. I hope later you will pick one up and take a few minutes to read it. How the Poor Can Save Capitalism is a great read. It's got a lot of practical ideas about how we can strengthen the entire fabric, the entire economic fabric of our communities. John is an idea-minute entrepreneur and a fantastic individual. Please join me in welcoming John Hope Bryant.
I love coming places where people are actually conducting business and taking care of their responsibilities while things are going on. It's fantastic. PhDs are good and PhDs are better. I am honored to be here. It's a great city. I met the mayor here who has a great dual occupation. He's a mayor and he's also the insurance broker. So he knows how to underwrite risk because he knows all the families. And I think the city's about 10,000 people, and I think the mayor said that it's like 10,022 depending on who's on the freeway at any particular time coming or going. I'm honored to be in a city that was nominated for 2 Academy Awards. I don't know if you knew that about your city. The Client and The People versus Larry Flynn, which you probably want to forget. But there's also a famous actor who was from here. You don't even know the name. Well, several, but Robert Jones, whose son is James Earl Jones. And Robert Jones did movies back in 1936 all the way up to when he passed at the right young age of 96. Was part of the Harlem Renaissance with Langston Hughes. From this great city. This city was born from a businessman in 1836 who bought the land from Native American Indians for $1.25 an acre. And later on, in the middle of the Civil War, your city, well, your downtown, burned down twice. It was right in the middle of a nation trying to figure out who she was going to grow up to be. And I find it inspiring that today the city comprises all races of people. Working class whites, working class blacks, working class Latino, Asian, Indian, and other. And small business is really the roots of what makes this place go today. Why is that important? Why is all that history important? Why did I mention the dates? It's another date that's interesting. 1830, around there you were formed, but 1860 you got your charter. What happened in 1865? Well, 1864, First Tennessee, First Horizon got its charter. It's one of the first banks in America. But 1865, the next year, Abraham Lincoln chartered a bank called the Freedmen's Bank. And I want to acknowledge now the Facebook Live viewers who are watching this from all around the world. We have 20 million people who have watched my videos over the last 11 months. And I want the world to know that we're opening the first Hope Inside in rural America in our history. And it'll be one of many. I want to thank First Tennessee and the Delta Regional Authority providing the resources to make that happen. You're playing a part of history as we prove that we can serve all people and that all boats can rise in this country. So bravo and kudos to my Facebook family. I'll do another interview on my way home in Brian's fancy car. I'll talk to you directly. By the way, anybody doesn't think that Brian Jordan is an honorary black man, go see that BMW he's got outside with the fancy rims on it. That's a brother. I told Brian I was going to tease him at least 12 times a day. He won the CEO of the Year award in Memphis, and he said he got it because there's just not many employers who employ more than 4,000 people in Memphis. I think it's a bit more than that, and I'm going to tease him endlessly because he's completely uncomfortable with the attention. Can we stop and just say kudos to one of the coolest CEOs I know? Look, he's an honorary brother. That is my brother from another mother, and a good friend. I told him I want to be 10% of his bank branch network. He said, John Bryan, you're already 10% of my bank branch network. That's not a very big aspiration. So 1865, you thought I missed my point. 1865, Abraham Lincoln sat down at his desk and created a bank called the Freedmen's Bank. A year after First Tennessee's founding, right after the Civil War. The mission of the bank, teach freed slaves about money. So here's a white Republican politician working with a black progressive businessman named Frederick Douglass, who we know to be an abolitionist. I know to be a businessman who owned a lot of land in Baltimore and Anacostia. These two gentlemen worked together in 1865. We can't get our act together in 2017. But 150 years ago, a black man and a white man from completely two different political and cultural backgrounds found a way to find common ground. And Lincoln created this bank and put the bank across the street from the White House. I don't know if you know the proximity of the White House, but there's a park right in front of you. That's a park in honor of the French who helped us with our independence from Britain. On the left is the Department of War, now called the Old Executive Office Building. On the right is the first federal building, Treasury. Across the street is the was the Treasury Annex Building. That was the Freedmen's Bank building. My man knows what I'm talking about. Right across catty corner. Lincoln wanted to be able to see the bank when he went to bed at night, see the candles burning, to know that people were working on his most important experiment, which was to bring former slaves into the free enterprise system. He knew you couldn't be free just with physical freedom, that you had to have a small business of your own, a job of your own, a way to make your own way, that freedom was self-determination. And you could not self-determine yourself without understanding the free enterprise system with which we live in. 2 months before that, you had Field Action 15, where another city that I love was burned down. That's Atlanta, Georgia. It was burned down in the March to the Sea. And January of 2015, Secretary of War Stanton and General Sherman met with 20 former ministers. I know there's a prominent minister here I met. Where's he at? Who's doing good work here in this city. And they met with 20 ministers and said, what do you want after this is over? Do you want a welfare program? No. Do you want a handout program? No. What do you want? We want land. We want to do for our, I'm from the black church, I'm used to seek and respond. I'm actually talking to all of you. I'm here, we want to do for ourselves. See, that's not a black answer, that's not a white answer, that's not a Latino answer, it's not an eight, that's just an answer. Everybody knows that is a natural response. I want to do for myself. That's dignity. So they said, fine, here's some land, and the work was so industrious by these former slaves within 1 month. By the way, no Snapchat, no Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitter, no cell phone. There was no way of communicating back then other than word of mouth, but yet 1,000 former slaves took this land, worked it so well, they said, give them a mule, which was like saying, here's a tractor. It was a reward for achievement. The next month comes the bank, March, and on the same day, Lincoln signed legislation putting the words "In God We Trust" on U.S. currency. Can't make this up. And all of that was lost when the bank failed after Lincoln was assassinated. And then you have 100 years later, Dr. King and my mentor, Andrew Young, in Memphis, Tennessee, where we just left, with the Poor People's Campaign, which was about everybody. Dr. King said this: you cannot legislate goodness. You cannot pass a law to force someone to respect you. The only way to social justice in a capitalist country is economics and ownership. That's a quote you don't hear. He realized there were more poor whites in America than poor anybody else. Then and now. He realized we were all in this mess together. And he was pivoting to a new movement that wasn't about white, black, red, brown, or yellow, but about green. And then King was assassinated on a balcony in Memphis, April, same month as Lincoln, 100 years later, April 4th, 1968. And that movement was lost. And I think when you look at today and you look at most of America's small towns, just like this, you have good people who are struggling from paycheck to paycheck. And whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, I'm gonna say it again, you wanna see some more green. Can I get an amen? Amen. And you have, I don't know, 70% of this country living from paycheck to paycheck. 70%. A fourth of this country would have to sell their car to raise $2,000. And we all know somebody, they're in our families. And I think that our problems are cratering jobs and struggling economic fear of all races, and we end up turning on each other and creating friction because we have economic stress that turns into social stress. I'll say two more things and I'll begin to wrap. Number one, Mississippi is a great state. Mississippi has the same problem that South Africa has. People say, oh, I have an office in South Africa. All South Africa has racial problems. No, they don't. Mandela solved that. I don't know if you know the story, but he made his jailer his vice president. He made his jailer, his Caucasian jailer, de Klerk, his vice president of the government. They mended their ways racially. But you got 55 million people in South Africa and 5 million taxpayers. There's no story beyond that. 5 million taxpayers cannot sustain a country of 55 million people, so the problem is poverty. Grinding poverty and resentment by those who have and those who don't have. Are you with me so far? Mississippi is the poorest state in America. That used to be the richest state in America. Here's the stat you don't know. The lowest credit score of any state in America is Mississippi. The credit scores of the 3 poorest counties in America are in Mississippi. I'm gonna repeat that. The lowest credit scores of any counties in America are in Mississippi. One of them is like 580. The whole county has an average credit score of 580, which means this bank can't make a loan to anybody there. So then we wonder why you see a check casher next to a payday loan lender, next to a rent-to-own store, next to a title lender, next to a liquor store. Hello. And whether you're white, rural, hello, or black and brown, urban, or whether you're outside of a military base of all races, you see the same thing. People and institutions preying on folks who are financially illiterate, who didn't get the memo on money and free enterprise and capitalism and ownership, who don't have a lot of optionality, who've lost their hope, who are depressed, who are frustrated, and there's no children here, who are pissed off. Understandably so. And what is it? I think the most dangerous person in the world is a person with no hope. And what does the Bible say? The Bible says those without vision, when there is no vision, the people perish. There's nothing I'm saying here that's not common sense, by the way. One other thing about Mississippi, and then I'll cut to the chase. I know I'm boring. It's not shocking to hear about the poverty and this and that. Here's a shocking stat. 2.1% of people in Mississippi make $200,000 a year or more. I'm going to repeat that, because that's the whole ballgame. If America's about aspiration, if people are about uplift and success, are you with me? Am I talking to myself? If everybody's trying to do better, hello, and if you have 2.1% of residents of Mississippi who make $200,000 a year or more, who are we role modeling? Here's what I can tell you, I guarantee you. If you hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th. We've got to find a Steve Jobs in every county in Mississippi. Hello. We got to find a Bill Gates in every county in Mississippi. We got to find young entrepreneurs, young small business owners, young doers who can rise up and create jobs and become new kinds of role models. We need to make smart sexy again, because we've been making dumb sexy in this country for too long. We've dumbed down and celebrated it. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So we can take no pleasure from the fact there's a hole in my end of our boat. Am I going too fast? We can take no pleasure from the fact there's a hole in my end of our boat. I can't be rooting for my neighbor's failure, because my neighbor's failure is my failure. This is not about whether the neighbor is black or white or middle class or rich or poor. My friends say, some of my friends, oh, I hate rich people. No, you don't. You hate rich people till you become rich. Everybody wants to be Brian Jordan. That's my Britney Spears. Rich is sexy when you're honorable. And so we have got to double the number of people in this state who make $200,000 a year or more. This is simple math. The book, The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell, if you haven't read the book, please do, says at 5, University of Illinois study, at 5% role models, every community stabilizes. Here's the reason for hope, ladies and gentlemen. Not 90% of role models, not 50% of role models, not 20% of role models. The cynic will say, oh, that's tough. Not even 10% role models. No. I want you to go back to the Chamber of Commerce, Tim. Where's Tim? I met Tim from the Chamber. I want you to go back to the mayor's office. I want you to go, there's the head of a foundation here, the Community Foundation. I just met him. I want you to go back to the head of the Community Foundation. They represent all kinds of the wealth money here in Mississippi. I want you to go back and I want you to say we got to get to 5%. 5% of entrepreneurs. You know, I was growing up in Compton, I didn't even know what the word entrepreneur meant. A banker came in my classroom, had a white shirt, blue tie, white shirt, red tie, blue suit, happy Caucasian. As far as I'm concerned, he was green, color of currency. And I said to this banker, he's teaching financial literacy, I said, sir, what do you do for a living? And how did you get rich legally? You're a little nervous laugher. Can I laugh at that? Yeah, you can laugh, it's okay. I mean, because nobody wore suits in my neighborhood. Nobody wore suits where I grew up. Nobody, I didn't know what the word entrepreneur mean. He said, sir, young man, he said, I am a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. As God is my witness, I said, I don't know what an entrepreneur is, but if you're financing them, I'm gonna be one. And I literally, everything changed in my life. I went home and found a business that nobody was doing in my neighborhood. I went and saw Max Liquor Store selling candy. Max Liquor Store selling candy. You don't get that, okay. And I said, you sell the wrong kind of candy. He said, go away, little boy, I've got a college degree. I said, that's nice, I've got cavities, I'm 9. See, sometimes you can be too smart. And he wouldn't listen to me, so I said, look, let me work for you. I worked there for 3 weeks as a box boy. I wanted to know where he was buying his inventory. I wanted to know what the wholesale rates, retail rates were. And then I quit 3 weeks later. Went home, borrowed $40 from my mother, went to Irish Food Store in Smart Final where he bought his inventory. It was on the side of the box. It ain't rocket science. I knew what the kind of candy my friends wanted. I set up good location on the way to school. Every kid here every kid can do this in this city. And I started a business and made $300 a week. Then I found girls and lost the business, recurring theme in my life. But I put the liquor store out of the candy business when I was 10 years old. If you don't believe that experience when I was 10 years old has something to do with me standing before you today running a global organization as an entrepreneur, then you don't understand the American story. That is my story. That's everybody's story. Why are you wearing a business suit, ladies? You saw a woman wearing a business suit and said, I can do that. Men, you're wearing a business suit today. I'm going to pick on you. I've never met you before. You wearing a suit today. You saw growing up some man wearing a suit, yes or no?
Yes.
What's your name?
Martin Lishman.
Mr.
Lishman.
Lishman. And said, I can do that, yes?
Yes.
So, have we ever met before?
No.
I didn't give you $20 before this, right? Well, I mean, never mind. Tim, you're wearing a business suit today, although you're more casual than I am. I want to actually take my tie off when I leave here to be like you. But when you were coming up, you saw somebody wearing a business suit. Maybe it's your father, I don't know. Is that right?
He was.
And you said, I can do that, right? Ladies here, let me see, let me pick on, I can't pick on my employee. I'll pick on you. You're wearing a nice professional suit. You're a professional woman. Did you see a woman growing up as an image of a professional woman and said, I can do that? You see, this is just good common sense. It's not a black strategy or a white strategy or a poor strategy or a rich strategy. These are folks who got the memo, okay? We got to get people to get the memo. It's a memo on free enterprise and capitalism and ownership and opportunity. We got to get the level of entrepreneurs in this city, in this county, to 5%. You hear me? 5%. You got to get the small business owners to 5%. You got to get the responsible public service to 5%. You got to get the community leaders to 5%, the philanthropists to 5%. Once you get above 5%, the positive role models will take over. And then you got economic growth. And I'll end with this. You've never seen a 700 credit score community riot in America's history. Ever. Of any race. 700 credit score communities don't riot, they go shopping. Who riots? 500 credit score neighborhoods. I guarantee you. I can tell you where all your problems are and never visit one of your cities. Never visit a zip code, I can just give me the zip codes, I'll find out the credit scores in that zip codes, and I can tell you that's where, if it's a 500 credit score neighborhood, that's where your crime is. That's where your homicides are. That's where your dropout rate is most intrusive. That's where you have low college education. That's where you have low home ownership creation. You got low job creation, low small business creation. It is not rocket science, it's common sense. You got a lot of smart people here. But if you don't find the next Steve Jobs in these cities, in these towns, in these roads, in these byways, then they have other options. Let me tell you one option. A drug dealer is unethical, it's immoral, there's a special place in hell reserved for somebody who sells death to their own community. But what a drug dealer is not is dumb. They understand import, export, finance, marketing, wholesale, retail, customer service, security, territory, logistics. You're not talking about a dumb person. You're talking about a misdirected person with a bad business plan and bad role models in a bad environment. But what would happen if you legitimize that talent? All the lights come on. See, I believe in America. Which means I believe in your town. I believe in your city. I believe in every citizen here. And I believe that we've got a way to move forward, and I believe that Hope Inside, which raises credit scores 120 points in 24 months. I don't know if I said that too fast, I gotta repeat it. I come here with more than a speech. Repeat. At Operation Hope, we raised credit scores 120 points in 24 months. And nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. You can't get a job today with half of employers without them checking your credit. As much as they may like you, you come in here with a 500 credit score, they cannot help you. 550 credit score, they cannot help you. 600 credit score, you cannot do much. 620 credit score, maybe an auto loan. Until you get to 650, 670, 680, they can't really help you live your dreams. But the minute you hit 680 to 700, all the lights come on. You can do any, my mother has a 855 credit score. I didn't even know it went that high. She don't even need to come in here. She just sends you an email and you just say yes. Whatever it is, yes. See, that's the beauty of America. So we're gonna open 1,000 Hope Inside. We're gonna become the Starbucks of financial inclusion. We're gonna be urban and rural. We're gonna spark small business owners and entrepreneurs, and I'm gonna give you, I guess, one quick example of how we do this. I'm not boring you, am I? Borrower comes into the bank branch, goes to the teller line, goes to the manager to try to get a loan for a mortgage. The branch manager cannot tell them by law to not take that application. Even though they pulled the credit and they know that she's at 580 credit score, the law states, because of redlining, that the bankers won't tell you this, the banker cannot not take that application. But they know that you're dead on arrival in that application that moment. So now you're gonna waste 45 days and appraisal fee and all this crap. And 45 days later, you're gonna walk in with your aspiration and your hope hanging by a thread, because you're already intimidated, you're already overwhelmed. And then you're gonna get, nope, sorry, we can't help you. Now who do you hate? Now you hate the banker. But the banker is just sitting there defenseless because they must take your application. Now there's an option. You get to walk across the hall to Hope Inside. To this wonderful lady right here. Come on, come here. Come here. So they can see you on Facebook. I hope you don't have any criminal history with everything. So you're gonna come to this lady here and see her upstairs. Thank you very much. And civil rights soldier. And at 580, now watch the numbers now. She's gonna sit down. Now the banker also can't tell you why you beat a decline. They'll just say, check your credit. Now if you got low self-esteem, do you think you're gonna go home and check your credit? No. But you go across the hall, she says, can I pull your credit? Sure. She pulls her credit, she says, what's this? Is this yours? You say, no, that's not mine. That's called an error. Here's what the law states, civil rights. If the credit bureaus cannot confirm that's legitimately yours, within 30 days, they must remove it. That is the law. We send a note on your behalf to challenge that. Once it is confirmed that it's not yours, they must remove it. When they do that, your credit score goes up 40 points. Okay, now where's the credit score? I'm talking to you. 620. You're at 620, you're in striking distance. Okay, what happens to her self-esteem? Her confidence, her well-being, her chest comes out, her shoulders come back, her head comes out. Okay, what can we do next? Is this yours? Oh God, yeah, that's mine. I got divorced from this this guy 10 years ago, and I didn't pay the phone bill for 5 months. It's a $1,000 bill, and I'm sorry. It's mine. Okay, great. That was SBC Communications. They were bought by Pac Bell. Pac Bell were bought by AT&T. AT&T sold this bad debt to Joe's Finance Company, right down the street. Joe's Finance Company has a phone number. Can we call them? Sure. Why should we call them? Because I know they bought it for 5 cents on the dollar. $50. We called Joe's Finance Company. We have Miss Jones sitting here. I've been looking for her. Well, she's coming to you now. Dignity, financial dignity. We want to pay off her bill. I want $100. which is a double profit. Fine, we'll pay you $200. Why would you pay me double of what I'm asking for? Because if I give you $200, the air's going out of the balloons, that was a signal for me to stop talking. That's God's way of saying, be good, be quick, and then be gone. So we're gonna pay you $200 because when I pay you $200, you look like a hero to your boss. You're gonna get 100% profit. She's gonna get a 280% discount. You're gonna give me your cell phone number, your office number, your email address. You're gonna write a letter on her behalf to the credit bureaus. And when this mysteriously reappears in her credit 3 months from now, as it normally does, you're gonna write another letter because you've been overcompensated to get it back off her credit report. And that's gonna pop her credit score 30 points. Now, where are we at now? 650. Now we sit down with her, her confidence is way up. She says, what's next? I see you've been going to Starbucks 3 times a week. You need to go buy you some Folgers. I see you've been smoking cigarettes 2 packs a day, 3 times a week. That's the box says this crap will kill you. Stop both those things. You're gonna now raise a 20% profit because there's 2 ways to make money. Make more, spend less. Now your credit score goes up another 15 points. We work with her. Now where is she at? 665. She's in striking distance. We walk her back across the hall. She gets a 4% mortgage approved for a $140,000 balance to buy a home, in this case in Memphis, Tennessee. She becomes a taxpayer. She becomes a homeowner. The city gets a taxpayer. The city gets a stakeholder. The mayor gets somebody else who's paying revenue. The city gets somebody who's now a stakeholder who now wants to vote. Now they're excited about, because by the way, she approved, she qualified, she made, in this example, $30,000 a year. She has 2 children. We say, have you ever heard of the earned income tax credit? She says, what's that? We say, you're approved. Because if you work and breathe in a mirror in America and you make $50,000 a year or less, you automatically qualify for EITC. And that is $3,000 on a $30,000 income. You get $3,000 in cash, which goes back into your bank account, which you have now to open at Hello First Tennessee. You can't solve the unbanked problem by giving somebody a lecture. You got to give them a reason for the season. The money goes in your bank account. Okay, but wait a minute. If you never filed for EITC, it's retroactive for 3 years. How much is that? That's $9,000. If you made $30,000 a year, have you ever seen $9,000 in your life that didn't have anybody's name on it? The answer is no. What do you do with that money? Pay off your car note? I don't know. Pay down your mortgage? I don't know. Send your kid to college? I don't know. Go shopping, probably. That's gonna boost GDP in your city. Let me tell you what else it's gonna do. I'm just excited about this. None of this is rocket science. You're gonna make some improvements to the house you just bought. Now you're gonna go to Home Depot or whatever is Lowe's or whatever the local business here that sells home supply. You're gonna hire a landscaper. You're gonna hire somebody to do the roofs. You're gonna buy the paint. Guess what that's called? A job. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my plan for America. Because half of all employment in this country is 100 employees or less. 70% of all employment in this country is 500 employees or less. There's only 18,000 businesses like this that employ 4,000 people. There's only 975 businesses that employ 10,000 people. We're looking for love in all the wrong places. The thing you're doing in this city, which is small business, is the heart and soul of this country. And I believe in you. I'm done.